Hello everyone, Vee here, and today we'll be making a nice journal on ring mechanism. As you can see, I already marked all the details I need for it, since I really didn't want to make measurements on screen. I kinda wanted to spare myself the embarrassment of that. I am using the 2mm bookbinding cardboard. It can be purchased in pretty much any art supply store, so you won't be having trouble with that. Right now I'm cutting out all the details I need and also making holes in the middle of the book so I can attach the mechanism in it. I am testing out on the screws of the mechanism to make sure they fit properly and enlarging the holes as I need to. I am also adding finishing touches to the decorative elements of the cover, and that is a frame on each side that will have little dips on the corners. So I cut the dip only on one side. After that, I am ready to add more elements, which are the ropes on the middle. I'll need this to create that classical old bookbinding look, but it won't really work without a prepared text block, which I don't have, so I'll just add this as a decorative element and not the practical one. I am also adding another layer of thread, just in case, so it stands out more when I cover it in the leather. And now it's time to decorate the pages. I am covering every page in PVA glue and adding the frames that I prepared in advance. The shorter ones don't really need anything special to them, while the longer have these little dips that I've made earlier. As you can see, it has quite a nice look to it. And so I ended up with these two beautiful covers that I will now leave to dry under the press, and since I don't have a bookbinding press, just a bottle of water will do. And now that all the elements are nice and dry, we can get to gluing them down to the fox leather. I use my old stylus to make threads stand out more, and also to attach the middle properly, before getting to the covers. Sometime later, just as I was going to make some holes in the leather, I ran into an issue. PVA glue doesn't work well on fox leather. The more you know. So I am now covering the fox leather with the glue I used to attach the ropes. It is a really strong glue that is used in making costumes to attach diamonds and stuff. But the really big drawback is that it stinks like hell. So I had to keep my window wide open as I worked on it. And even after that, for a few days, the stench stayed in my room. And so, now that middle has dried up, it's time to attach the covers. I pour some contact glue and spread it with the coffee stir. For now, I decided to only attach the middle to make sure it stays in place and the ornament is visible. After spreading the glue everywhere, I can now attach the leather. And also I'll be using a little pieces of cardboard to make sure that it stays in place while it's drying. It was a very tedious process to make sure all the edges are nice and visible and very clear. Also, this fox leather I'm using seemed to be very stretchy, and so it got folded a lot. So that created some more issues with attaching everything. After finishing the middle part, I'll be getting right to the edges. I tried not to hurry and not haste too much, so I don't ruin everything by being too clumsy about it. So I'm slowly adding glue into the edges and making sure they are nice and clear and the frame is still visible. I also cut out little corners to make sure that the dips in the frame stay in place while they're drying. After the first half got nice and dry, I am getting to the second one. This time I decided to get a little more risky and cover the entire page in glue at once, and attach it all together. So just like before, I am putting on the glue, making sure I put on as much as possible, so I'm sure I have enough for the entire page. There were cases in the past when I didn't put enough glue and it just didn't attach, so I wanted to avoid it this time. So as I'm spreading, there are still some traces left, probably because the glue just left some wet traces on the cardboard, and that's all. After the entire page is covered, I am getting to the attaching. I form the shape of the frame as I used to with my stylus and little cardboard pieces, and make sure everything is nice and firm. After I'm done with the outside, I left it for the night to dry, and in the morning, this is what I have. Now I am attaching the whole thing to the inside of the book. I am attaching the sides first because for the upper part and lower part I will need a little more work, especially with this gap between the middle of the book and the sides. After making sure the first side is attached very nice and firm and nothing sticks out, I get to the other side and cover it in glue thoroughly before spreading it with a stick. I also flip it to the other side to make sure there are no bubbles on edges and that the frame is still clear and attached firmly. So now that we have sides attached, all we need to do is attach top and bottom. And just as I was covering the top part with glue, my camera ran out of battery, so I had to do this part off screen while it was charging. So now the last part to attach is the bottom one. So I spread the glue on the fabric. And the thing with attaching top and bottom part is that there is a gap, two gaps in fact, between the middle of the book and the sides. We can't just leave it hanging in there, we need to make sure it's firmly attached. For that, I'll be using my stylus to shape them properly and make sure that it sticks to the fabric below. And so, this is what we have now. For now, I'll leave it out to dry and put a sheet of paper under it just to make sure it doesn't get stained. And now, for the last part of the entire cover, we will use PVA glue to attach the end paper. After all, there will be no text block in here, and we can just have this cardboard sticking out. I also use some of that contact glue on the leather part to make sure everything sticks nice and firm. After that, I take out the paper I cut out before to cover the entire thing. I also make sure to create those dips with my stylus, so there are no bubbles when it's folded. And now the book is practically ready. The only part left is to attach some decorations. I already made the holes in the paper off screen, so I won't be doing that now. Now I will be attaching the album corners into the corners of the book. I used some pliers for that, and as you can see from my filming skills, I far and not always can keep it in place. So I hope you forgive me for that. Since leather is pretty thick in those regions, I have to use pliers to kind of flatten it out a little to make sure that the corners stick and hold firmly. And just like that, we are done with the cover. There's still a little something that I wanted to add, which is a nice little bird in the middle. I bought it in the art supply store, so I'm pretty sure if you ever plan to do something similar to that, you won't be having trouble finding the materials. After covering the decoration in glue, I put it on the cover and push it down a little to make sure it stays in place. It looks pretty nice, so I get to the second one. And just like that, we are done with the book. Now for another neat part I wanted to make, the belt. I cut out 4 pieces of fox leather and started sewing them together with just simple stitches. It was a real long and tedious process, and I absolutely refused to use sewing machine no matter what, because I just don't like dealing with the tech, even such as sewing machines. And so I attach the buckle, and it ended up a little bigger than the belt itself, but it still works pretty well. And I also have to constantly fix my gloves because I have tiny baby fingers and all the gloves are way too big for them. And just like that, we have ourselves belts. I actually made one off screen, so I can show you the process when I actually know what to do. The first one was more of an experiment to make sure it looks nice. Next up, we'll attach these little things that the belt goes into after passing the buckle. Honestly, I have no idea what these are called, even in my home language. So just like that, I quickly stitch them together. and attach them to the buckle, or rather to the belt itself. I make sure to only attach the bottom part, so the upper one stays free and the belt can go through it. After that, I am doing the same with the second one that I stitched off screen. And now for the very last part, which is putting everything together. I put the screw of the mechanism into the belt and then put it into the book itself. And then I do the same with the bottom one. After that, I attach the mechanism and screw it in, nice and tight. Also constantly fixing the gloves. The upper one went in way easier than the bottom one, and so I had to do a little fixing on that one, so it stays in place. And just like that, our book is ready. So I'll be putting in some separators as well as the dot pages I ordered from Amazon before. I was already kind of using this notebook, even though I didn't have the notebook itself. So now I finally have it. A little nice thing I added was also some more holes on the belt, so in case I finally find the belt that fits my tiny baby waist, I can actually carry this book on that belt. And so, we are done, and here is the full view of our book. As you can see, it turned out really nicely. It does have this kind of retro look to it, and I am very satisfied with the way it turned out. Giant thanks to everyone for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like or a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I will be posting some craft projects every week. Also, if you want to follow up on arts and crafts that I do, you can follow me on social media pages that I will leave in the description. Goodbye!